Hello everyone, it's Clare here, just calling into MODA Fabrics to tell you all about my latest fabric collection called The Blues. You all know my favourite colour is blue, so I've really developed that colour palette for this collection, and I have teamed it up with lots of research about blues music and the jazz age, and I was reading The Great Gatsby and reading up about Josephine Baker and all that really beautiful Art Deco inspiration, listening to lots of Charlie Parker and his Bluebird song, and really immersing myself in my sketchbook. I always like to start my sketchbook with some mood boards, some ideas from magazines or things that I've saved. The first page of a sketchbook is always very hard. The blank page is quite terrifying, so this is what I like to do first, just to get me started. I start thinking about a colour palette. Jazz it up a little was on the Salvage quote. Lots and lots of doodles, nothing too formal in my sketchbooks. I always just try to not edit myself down too quickly. Just play, very loose, very free, as you can see, very free. And then I start sort of working on more formal ideas. And if I'm doodling something over and over again, I know that I'm onto something, and it's something that I need to pay attention to and will probably develop into a print. And there's lots of things like the swans here that didn't make this collection, but no doubt I'll come back to at another time. When the sketchbook stage is done, I've started to get a really firm idea of what I want the collection to look like. I will mix some colours, and I don't work digitally at all, so these will be mixed with paint in little jam jars, and then I start naming them, and I have great fun with my names. I always name them to do with the theme. So we've got Billy for Billie Holiday, Parker for Charlie Bird Parker, Louis Armstrong, all those sorts of things. And this that I did for the colour swatching actually turned into one of the ombre prints. So this is actually what I send into MODA. You can see it's very roughly drawn still. I like to keep that freedom and that spirit and energy in my artwork that I send them, and I give little suggestions of colour combinations that might work for the prints. And then MODA will send these off to the design department, and they will work on them and build them up, and it all turns into the fabric that you know and love. This is called Crotchet. I think we call our musical note something different in the UK to you. This is a quarter beat, a 4/4 time, and I was playing around with the square and the 4/4 idea. So this is the Crotchet print. Notes. I wanted to have that explosion of sound and that real energy and the vibrancy of the music, and being in that live music situation, you know, it really just goes through you and you're part of it. So I wanted to put lots of energy into this print. This one's called Stave for obvious reasons, and again I wanted to freehand the stave, the lines of music. I didn't want it to be too rigid. I didn't want it to be a solid stripe. I wanted it to still have that energy, and the splatters of the ink are to sort of give an idea of the sound going on in the background. I read up a bit about Josephine Baker, who was quite an eccentric of the jazz age, quite controversial, led a very colourful life. She had lots of wild animals like cheetahs as pets, who used to escape and terrify the orchestra while she was singing and dancing. So I had to include an animal print. I wanted it to be nice and small so you could still use it. I didn't want it to overpower any of the quilts. I wanted it to be quite subtle. I designed 2 new quilts for the Blues collection. The first one I'm going to talk to you a bit about is called Bluebird, inspired by Charlie Parker's Bluebird song, which is beautiful, so have a listen to that. It's really simple to make, good skill builder project. The Haskell triangles are nice and large, so a beginner will be able to tackle it. You piece it in 4 sections, and it makes really good use of the waterfall prints, which are such a good asset to have in store. Nice fun project to make. MODA are also producing a kit for the Bluebird quilt, so have a look out for that as well. The second quilt I designed for the Blues range is called Rhythm. And again, it's got the cream the cream tones background, but it uses all of the gradients of the blue prints in them. And again, it's a really nice skill building project, perfect for a workshop in your stores. The last project I designed is for 5 zipped pouches. It just uses one 5-inch charm pack to piece all of the fronts for the zippered purses. So I hope you enjoyed my little fabric showcase of the blues. It's a pleasure to work with you and MODA fabrics, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheerio.